how and where we get dehydrated. Can you talk about what type of environments that people don't necessarily associate with dehydration? I mean, we obviously think about the desert when we think about getting
Right.
dehydrated, but we don't think about the office space and
Yeah.
the lighting and the air conditioning and everything else that comes into play with dehydrating us. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So artificial environments, like you said, lighting, air conditioning. Will may know this as much as I know it. Living in New York City in the wintertime, the radiators that you have no control out of are sucking all of that hydration. Do you remember putting like pots on your radiators just to get some moisture
Yep.
in the air?
Mm,
People don't talk about that at all. I think winter is probably more dehydrating than summertime and when we're out and sweating. So airplanes are the most there's no moisture in that environment.
right.
Um,
Mm.
the other things, I mean, so the food that we're eating, processed food, is part of our, in the big picture of things that are dehydrating our worlds. So processed foods, what it takes to metabolize them. Medications. When I looked at this, I was blown away that there is a list of medications reported to the FDA to overtly dehydrate people, and where they've ended up in the emergency room. And I'm not even talking about things like antihistamines, which we know sucks every ounce of hydration out of us. I'm not talking about diuretics, which literally makes us pee out hydration.
Right.
Things like the purple pill, so acid blockers, aspirin,
Wow.
Ambien. Like everything you could think about were very specific medications that have been reported to the FDA that ended up people in the emergency room for dehydration. So medications is another one.
Mm,
Um,
Wow.
our sedentary lifestyles is a huge. Um, I don't know if it's necessarily dehydration. I don't know if it necessarily sucks water out of hydration out of us, but it adds to the problem of
it
dehydration.
doesn't get from what I've
Does
read in the book, it doesn't get the water where we need it, right? It doesn't get it moved around in the body. And right before the show, I showed you this, but for those who are tuning in, we're going to talk about micro movements, which Will mentioned earlier. But the book inspired me to get this crazy looking contraption, which is just some pedals that sit underneath my desk because I sit in artificial light a lot of the day these days. It's air conditioned or heated depending on the weather. And I know it is dehydrating. I get home at the end of the day and I'm smoked. I'm exhausted. And it's because I'm dehydrated, or at least that's a good portion of it. And this
Yeah.
little guy, and along with this guy, the bottle right next to me that now has chia seeds and some sea salt in it, which we'll talk about, it's got me feeling, I mean, I feel awesome. I feel so much better just after doing this for a few weeks since we started reading the book. I mean, Will read it a while ago, but I just recently read it. But yeah, it's awesome, Dr. Dana.
That's That's the beauty. This is simple. This is simple stuff. Like
Yeah,
Right.
this is,
exactly.
everybody can do it. And I still to this day I get blown away when people say like, all I did was add some chia seeds and a little lemon squeeze and some salt to my water, and I feel unbelievable. So
Wow.
Yeah.
everybody listening, this can really change, um, you know, everything. It's a quick fix. It's not something you need to do for 3 months, and before you notice a difference. People notice a difference in one day. It's
Right.
that
Yeah.
simple.